In the battle for control of the United States Senate, our CBS News Battleground tracker finds that the Republicans have a better than even shot of taking it. We've assembled some of our campaign 2014 election team tonight, and first we're going to go to congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes on why the Democrats are nervous. Nancy?
Well, Scott, all you need to know is that there are 9 battleground seats in the Senate, and 7 of them are held by Democrats right now in states that by and large went for Mitt Romney. So these are Democrats who would be in tough races even if the president were more popular, even if voters felt better about the economy. As it is, Republicans who I spoke to today sounded markedly more confident than Democrats, especially in some of these real toss-up races in Iowa and Colorado. They're even starting to feel like they might be able to win in races that seemed out of reach just a week ago in New Hampshire and North Carolina, while Democrats argue that they still have a superior ground game that could help them to make up a 2 to 3 point deficit on Election Day.
Bob Schieffer is our chief Washington correspondent and the anchor, of course, of Face the Nation. Bob, what are you looking for tomorrow night?
Well, I'll tell you this, Scott. Most of the analysis suggests that the Republicans will pick up enough seats to take the majority in the Senate. It'll be the first time that the Republicans will control both houses of Congress. But I tell you this, I'm not making any bets on this yet because this electorate is in the nastiest mood I have ever seen. They're mad about everything. Nothing works. They don't like the president. They like the Congress even less. Who knows? They may decide they don't even want to vote. I'm going to wait and see what happens in this.
Now, it's important to note that there are 36 governor's races that are up tomorrow as well, and Bill Whitaker's been following those. Bill, what are you looking for tomorrow night?
Scott, 3 races to watch. That's in Florida, Wisconsin, and Colorado. In Florida, the Republican Governor Rick Scott is in a very tight race with the Democrat Charlie Crist. And in Wisconsin, Republican Governor Scott Walker is facing Democrat Mary Burke. Now, both Scott and Walker have followed the Republican playbook on taxes, on abortion, on same-sex marriage. And tomorrow is kind of shaping up to be a referendum on those policies. Now, in Colorado, the Democratic Governor, John Hickenlooper, is facing a backlash for having supported tougher gun legislation, and he's in a very tight race with Republican Bob Beaupre. Now, Scott, the same number of governor seats as Senate seats are up for grabs tomorrow, 36. But the candidates for governor have outspent the candidates for Senate by more than $50 million.
Wow. John Dickerson, our political director. John, what's riding on the governor's races?
Well, you know, voters tell pollsters that basically Washington is so frozen in gridlock that even if the party that controls the Senate changes, nothing will change. But in the states, they pretty much still operate in government the way it's supposed to. And so that means the governor's elections are going to affect the way people's lives are changed on education, on law and order, on health care. Take Maine, for example. It's one of a dozen governor's races. In that state, the incumbent, Paul LePage, has vetoed his legislature's bill to expand Medicaid as a part of the Affordable Care Act. If the Democrat, Mike Michaud, wins, that expansion will take place and go forward. There are also political stakes. If Scott Walker, the Republican, is reelected in Wisconsin, or John Kasich is reelected, Republican, in Ohio, immediately they'll be talked about as presidential hopefuls because those are battleground states. If they don't run, they'll nevertheless be models for anybody who does want to win in those states.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. Bob, Nancy, John, and Bill will be joining me on our CBS News election night coverage. We'll have updates throughout the evening, and then an hour-long special at 10, 9 Central. Of course, you can get the latest returns online at cbsnews.com and on Twitter. Our handle is @CBS Politics.